What was my top video game pickups of the year? Stay tuned. It's time to show off these games, and these are not going to be in any set orders. It's going to go from PlayStation 4 to Xbox 360 to, it's going to bounce around. It's going to bounce around. But all through the year, I picked up 25 games that I feel are my top pickups. And I know I picked up more than that. I know from the Christmas haul pickups and everything, I had a lot of video games I picked up in 2024. So I'm going to go ahead and show these off, and you're going to get to see what exactly is my top 25. So we're going to start it off with a hot one. We're going to start it off with Super Star Wars, baby. Oh yeah, the Force. I've never played this yet. I've not played this yet, but this pickup actually came, I think, from a yard sale find in the fall. And I was very happy to get this. I was very happy to get this for the Super Nintendo. One of my very, systems I don't really collect that much for. But the guy and the lady had it. And I was like, I better go ahead and get this one. Now, I was in GameStop. And I was looking around through games. And for cheap, they had Chrome Hounds. And I remember a YouTuber discussing this game called Chrome Hounds. I said, I better go ahead and get this before this one goes up in price. And I think this was pretty cheap. It's got everything complete. As you can tell, everything is complete. And this is one that I really, really was happy to pick up. I think this happened during the... I showed this off, and I can't believe it's GameStop pickups. I believe that's when I showed it off. I believe. I mean, 2024 was a long year, and I had some great pickups. Now, I picked up another one at Cheap Thrills. I was ready to say GameStop, but I caught myself. Cheap Thrills. And this one is Batman Arkham Origins for the Xbox 360. Now, at the time, with the 360 store gone, at the time, I remember getting this. And I remember he was getting ready, he's talking about this game possibly going up in price. That it's one of those games that you might want to get for the 360 because it might not be on the store. And Arkham Origins was done by Warner Brothers Montreal. And the idea at the time, this was the time, they were going to basically try to create a franchise of Batman Arkham games. Like every 2 to 3, try to get Rocksteady to keep doing them. Montreal was going to keep doing them. Well, the reaction to Arkham Origins made them kind of halt that plan. And now there's talk that they're going to go back to Arkham Origins because it actually sells. Arkham Origins makes money. They've had it for sale on different things and different packages. Not Arkham Origins, but the Arkham games make money. That's what I meant to say. So they're going to basically go back to it from what rumors are and act like Suicide Squad never existed, which I could have picked that game up. It was on sale, and I had my coupon and points. I could have probably got that game for $10, but I'm going to wait until I see if they do an offline mode, because I heard the servers is going to go down at some point. Now, moving on, is my top 25 pickups. This one is a Vita game. It is Jak and Daxter. And at the same spot where I picked up Super Star Wars, they had this one. And this was part of my Christmas pickups. I need to find the game cases for it. I hate that my Vita games don't have game cases, the right game cases, but I really don't want to go online and try to find them. Speaking of another Vita game, I got this one off Amazon. And Amazon So brand new, and at the time this was cheap, man. This was narc. Now I've seen it's going for like $30 because Vita games are hard to find. Vita games are getting hard to find here in now in 2025, but in 2024, there were so many I looked for, and I was like, come on, man, I want Tales of King Hard R. I was like, I just want to get that one. I want to get some more RPGs, but I found Army Corps of Hell, and I thought that was kind of cool. And Square Enix done this one, and I've not played this one yet. And I always like to pick up Square Enix games, RPGs of Square Enix. I've not played this one. I don't know if it's any good or not. I haven't opened it yet. Now, this one I picked up back in the spring. And this one, God, I can't remember where I picked this one up. But it was back in the early spring. And I didn't know, because I think I picked it up at the pawn shop. I believe I picked it up at the pawn shop because it's basically, it doesn't have no GameStop sticker. So I believe I got this one from the pawn shop. And it really shocks me how high this one has went up. This one and the Xbox One version have went up. I think they've started to settle down a little bit, but yeah. Deadpool, baby. Deadpool, I played it. I got playing it. Got so sidetracked and played it, I can't help it. And I forgot all about putting it on, showing it off. And I think in the summer, I finally was like, oh crap, I forgot to show that game off. But yeah, it's a fun game. I got the PlayStation 3 version of it too. I could have got the Xbox One version of it, but I was like, I really don't want to get, I think that was either Xbox One or Xbox 360, but I didn't want to give $100 for it. I'm not that rich of a game collector to go that high. Now, this one is Saw, and I think I got this one in the fall. I think this one came from GameStop. I think it's but yeah, Saw, the first one. I tried looking up Saw 2, and I would like to get a case for this one day. I would love to find Saw and Saw 2. I love the horror games. Those are always getting harder to find. But it was a good year, good year. Another one in my top 25 video games list is Eternal Sonata. And I remember picking this one up from a shop in Roanoke. And I called down. I said, do you have Eternal Sonata? And he's like, yeah. I was like, okay, I need to get that game. Because with the Xbox 360 store closing, as you see for the Xbox 360, I was like, Eternal Sonata will probably become a hot game to get. Because it's like a different type version of the story. And it's an RPG. It's about Chopin's dying days. And it's a magnificent story of Frederick Chopin, and the story has always been praised with how they done it. Bandai Namco done it, and this one, it's last I saw it was like looking like in the 30s. Might have went up, I don't know. That was back in the summer, and they had it sell for half that. I said, I better hurry up and jump on that before somebody gets smart and gets that, because I've got it for the PlayStation 3, but here it is, 2024. I better go ahead and get it now for that. Now, speaking of one that I was happy to pick up, and this one showed up in my Christmas haul, Ratchet and Clank, the collection. 3 full games, digitally remastered in HD. And this one was one that, this one's got everything. It's got the Sly Cooper sticker, early access demo. I don't know if it still works. But I was so happy to get this one. I was like, this is a cool game. It's very nice to have that. I like platformers I like Ratchet and Clank. I really got into the games from playing the 2016 version, and that was a free download. They gave it to us free during COVID. Sony did, and it was like you could get this game free. You didn't have to be a member of PSN. So I went online and got it for free, and I remember I played it all the way through, and I platinumed that ass. I platinumed that game. Oh yeah. Then I got ripped apart last year, and I worked my magic, got a platinum on it. But the Ratchet and Clank games are really good. So going back, I got another Xbox 360 game, and this one actually came from GameStop, and it came in. I can't believe it's GameStop. I can't believe it's GameStop. Yeah. Well, this GameStop was really kicking. I mean, and they still have a nice Xbox 360 section there. I forgot what I paid for this, but Import Turner Challenge, this one's starting to book a little bit high because of the Xbox 360 store. And I went ahead and picked it up, only on Xbox 360. I think it's the only on Xbox 360 that really makes the games, because there's so many games that you can't get anywhere else, and a lot of the licenses are being pulled from the storefronts. Like here recently, NASCAR, a bunch of the NASCAR games was taken off the PlayStation Store from what I saw. NASCAR Heat 2, 3, a bunch of different ones. So, still going, still going. I got a Nintendo game. Here we go. We got 2 Nintendo games here. Still going here. I got The Simpsons, Bart versus the Space Mutants. And I always like classic Nintendo. I remember renting this as a kid. I got this from Cheap Thrills. By the way. Cheap Thrills was rocking. I mean, they had a hell of a video game collection in there at one time. And I think everybody's went through there and just picked through that section. And Sean told me somebody come in and dropped some big money on a couple games that they had in the glass case. There was a couple big ones that they dropped money on. There's a Batman game I would like to get, but it's just a little bit too expensive for me. A little bit too expensive. But yeah, Bart versus the Space Mutants. Now, one of my favorite Nintendo games I picked up from Cheap Thrills, and in 2024 was this one. It's Batman, baby, Batman. A big Batman fan. I was like, when I saw this was there, I was like, I'm gonna get the licensed games. I'm gonna get Wolverine. I'm gonna get Batman. I'm gonna get Bart Simpson, and this was one of them. I was like, I got to get Batman, first one. I'm working on getting more games. I like to get more older ones. I'm more of a newbie collector. I like to get the Xbox 360 generation, the PlayStation 1, 2, stuff like that. So I gotta learn to go backwards. I gotta go back. Enough of my stupidness. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and show off. This one came from Walmart, and at the time, early in 2024, Walmart started. Early 2024, I think spring, summer, they started cleaning out their Xbox One games because the Xbox One wasn't doing so well, and they were trying to get rid of these games. And it had some good sales that I missed. Well, I got 2 of them in the sales. 2 of these good ones. I got Sonic Colors Ultimate. I think it was $10 for this. And I was like, yeah, this is nice. This is a nice pickup. 4K. It was in 4K. I was like, yeah, I got an Xbox One. I'll play that one. I'll get that. So that was a nice one. And I showed this one off in it was raining. And this was just a couple bucks, because they were just closing this out. And it's actually a remake of, or well, not really a remake. It's a new well, I don't know I guess it's almost a quasi remake. It was just like doing the 2 games together. It is Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2. I haven't played any of the Tony Hawk games. I've seen them, but I've not played them. And I was like, I'm going to get that. And like I said, this was a couple bucks, and I was stunned. This is like that Mirror's Edge Catalyst game I picked up a few years back in Walmart when he was clearancing it out. And I walked up to the register, and that was stunned me, because she's like, that'll be 3 cents. I was like, what? Because I was ready to pay the $1. I said $1, right? She said, no, it's 3 cents. I was like, really? And she's like, yeah. She had to go talk to the other lady. She said, no, sell it to him. It's 3 cents. I sell it to him. If it rings up like that, I was like, okay. I said, she looked at me, and I'm like, look, lady, I just brought the game up here. He opened the thing up for me and got the game out. And she said, okay. So she rang it up. And I still can't get over that. 3 cents for Mirror's Edge Catalyst. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Now, one thing I haven't bought really much of is Switch games. I don't really buy Switch. I don't know what it is. It's a system that I really need to pick up more on. I think I picked up maybe 1 or 2 games this year. CJ picks up more Switch games than me. He's more of a Switch collector than me. And I went ahead and found this at a yard sale. Now, I brought up how weird this yard sale was this lady was having with her daughter. One day I'd go and she'd have movies out. Next day I go and she'd have new stuff out, like a game and something. I was like, you're kind of wondering, why didn't she bring all this stuff at one time? Why would you keep going? And then, like on the third day, she had a video game out, and it was Sonic Frontiers for the Nintendo Switch. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get that, as you can see. And it was like, okay, and it was just weird, you know, the whole situation was weird with that. I was like, that's just, you know, a funny thing to do the whole way. It's like, okay, why are you not putting these out all together? I mean, why is it like one thing at one time, the other thing at another time? That always made me laugh. Now, a game I picked up at GameStop in the spring of 2024, they was having a 4 for 20, or 4 for 40, or 4 for 40. So they was having that sale. So I was going through there, and I was like, I'm gonna go there. There's a couple games I'm really intrigued on getting, and one of them was Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. And I was like, I want to get this game. I want to get it. And like I said, for the 4 for 40, I went ahead and got it. And I got 3 other games with it. But getting it for $10, man, that was like, okay, I like this. I'm not really a fan of the PlayStation multiplayer that you have to get. You have to go on the PlayStation Plus to do that. I was like, I'll play the campaign of this. This looks kind of cool. Maybe one day I'll get the network, you know, maybe. I don't really play much Modern Warfare, Call of Duty that way, but again, yeah, we're still going. I think, like I said, there's 20-some games in this top 25 games of 2024 that I picked up, so we're still going. We're still going through this list. Continuing on here, like I said, I had to take a little break there, put some stuff away. I got some PlayStation 2 games as well. This one came from the pawn shop. And like I said, I'm looking for games. I think this came in the spring, early spring. I was looking for licensed games from the superhero games, even if they do suck, because I like to get the superhero games like that. And this one came from Activision, which I don't think they have the license anymore for these characters. A lot of these companies like Activision and stuff like that, Acclaim, they lost the licenses to the heroes, like the Spider-Man games. I think that company lost them. So this one came into spring, and it is Fantastic Four. It is based on the early 2000s Fantastic Four movie. And this one, not a bad little pickup. It's got the book. It's got hot Jessica Alba. Whew, dear Lord, man. And Jessica Alba, look at that, man. Look at that. Whew, dear Lord. Reed was a lucky man. But there's rumors that this Reed Richards will be in the new Fantastic Four movie. That he will show up in the Council of Reeds. That the multiverse is involved, and these Fantastic Four characters are already involved in it. So, you know, like I said, it's a multiverse. You'll see characters like Reed, like that, show up. And, yeah, I like Multiverse of Madness. What can I say? Now we're going to go to Nintendo. And this one, I think this is the last one I picked up. And this one came from Cheap Thrills. And like I said, the collection they got was, man, it was smoking. And at the time, I was going through picking up the games that I really wanted. And I wanted to get, you know, like I said, I want to get the cool games like, you know, Batman and Wolverine and stuff like that. So, and Bart Simpson versus the Space Mutants. I went ahead and picked up RoboCop, the future of law enforcement. Yes, RoboCop. And they actually have RoboCop 2 and 3, I think, still over there. It's just, they're just pricey, and I think I'm holding off. I don't think I need to get every RoboCop game unless, you know, I get into them. I have to see how the gameplay is. Now, moving on to some PlayStation 4s, other than Deadpool that I showed off. This one came in the spring, and this one was a really big buy for me because I searched for this game because I'm an RPG guy. If you've seen the video with me and Eddie's more, you know, he likes shooting games and stuff like that. Me, I'm an RPG guy. I love stories, and the Trail series has been telling a big long story, as I told in the video. It's like 7 games in, so many games in, and they're getting ready to remaster the first part. It's getting ready to come out this fall, which I've got to reserve. Trails to the Sky, that's got to be mine. That's going to be mine. I'm going to get Trails through Daybreak 2. Again, like I said, I'm on Cold Steel 4, so I'm trying to get my way through. I'm trying to battle my way through these games. But they're just so long, man. RPGs are long. So this one came about because I was looking for the sequel to Trails into I got the Trails into Zero. Well, I had to get a North American version, and I had to get Trails to Azure, Trails to Azure. Well, this was hard. Finding this game, a North American version, was effing hard. I'm not gonna lie to you folks. When I got this one off eBay, I went on eBay and I'm like searching. I was like, there was copies 100, 120, 110. If Eddie's watching this, he's gonna say, why in the hell is this game so pricey? Because like I said, they didn't make many copies of this for North America. NIS didn't make many copies of this game. So finally, I found one. I think it was like 65, 70. I was like, and I looked at it good. I was like, okay, got it home. I played it, did the whole game, did everything I could, took over 100 hours into it, and I kicked its ass, and yeah, it plays, and it continued the story. Like I said, I needed the North American version. I could have got the cheaper versions with the UK version, but I needed the North American. I needed this T on this freaking game. So, yeah. But yeah, I was happy to get that. That's probably the hardest one I had to search for in 2024. I think that game was probably the hardest one I had to search for this entire year. So let's move on. Let's talk about another one I picked up, and this one came from GameStop, and this one came in the same springtime deal. I can't believe it's GameStop. Well, it's Rage 2. And Rage 2 is for $2. It was pretty unique. I paid $1.89. Yeah, I paid but still the tax $2. This one has went up. I think this one's went up to like $5 or $7 now. I think it's went up on price. But yeah, I haven't played it yet. But I got it for the PlayStation 4, and at the time Walmart was trying to sell it out cheap. Anyhow, I picked up another one from Cheap Thrills, and this is the last PlayStation 2 game I picked up for the year. And this one was really one that it made my top 25 because I love RPGs. And it is Suikoden 3. Suikoden, I think it's how you pronounce it. Suikoden. Blah, blah, blah. Anyhow, I remember my friend Mark loves these games. He played the first one or second one, and he said it's really immense. He said, so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get that. When I saw it there, I was like, Suikoden is a really good series, and I was like, I'd like to get that, and I picked it up. Like I said, I collect RPGs, and Cheap Thrills had this one. I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and get it, and I had a coupon, so I was able to knock it down, and they had it priced pretty reasonable too, and like I said, the guy that had these games, I mean, he had a hell of a game collection. He brought Nintendo games in. He brought PlayStation 3. This game, I mean, the dude was rocking. I'm going to say this. The dude had a hell of a collection. And I got to say, and I think, now this is from what Sean told me. I believe. I believe this is what he told me. I'm pretty sure. 100%. I'm okay, 99.9%. Okay, he told me that the guy had passed away and his widow was selling the games, his systems and stuff and games, and he brought them in there. She did, and sold them. And I'm glad that I could pick up some piece of the legacy that he built with these games. I mean, they're going into collection. They're going to be not thrown around and messed apart. I mean, like I said, I've picked up so many of the games that he had in that collection. I'm kind of happy to find him. He was an RPG guy. And he had some good ones. Now, like I said, we're getting close. We're getting to the nitty gritty here. I picked up a game that's literally like a spiritual successor to Suikoden, and it was on the PlayStation 5. And I actually had two chances to get this game back in the spring or summer. Cheap Thrills, or GameStop had it. I keep saying Cheap Thrills in my mind. GameStop had it on the shelf, and I think I shot the video of me picking it up and looking at it, and the guy telling me, hey, you need to get that because that's a good game that's not going to be there for long. And I was like, yeah, well, I got so much going on. I wasn't into the price, so I left it. And I came back about 2 weeks later, 2 or 3 weeks later, and I walked in and said, hey, where's the Edwin Chronicles at? Edwin Chronicles 100 Heroes. And he's like, it's been sold out, man. He said, told you should have got it. So I went online and I couldn't find a copy. So I was like, I'm not going to hunt for it. Because like I said, some of these RPG games are hard to find with the print runs and PlayStation 5 not having a lot of big print run of games. So I just went ahead and let it go. You know, I was like, no, I don't need to look for it. So in the fall, I go on Facebook Marketplace. And there's this game. There's this game and RoboCop. Rogue City. And I could have put both of these here, but I wanted to head and go with Edwin Chronicles because I felt kind of bad that I missed out on it. It actually got way cheaper. So, yeah, that was a nice one. Now, like I said, we're almost done here. We got 2 more games left, the last 2. And they're both about Final Fantasy. Oh, yes. In November, you saw my 2-part November video going into Christmas, you know, where I was going around trying to find some stuff, collecting. I went in and the GameStop, and they had the Final Fantasy VII, the collection, 1 through 6, the anniversary collection, and this was the final copy they had in store. And Daryl was telling me, he's like, yeah, he said, Square had put it out on their website, and he said, you know, at one time, and they made those things hard to find. And I knew that I was like, well, if they're only releasing so many copies, I better go ahead and pick it up. And I like Final Fantasy. I've never played the big ones, you know, 3, 4, and 6. I think those are the big ones that people talk about all the time. I said, I need to go ahead and get those. I need to go ahead and get those games. So that's like, yeah. So this gives me all the Final Fantasies. This is the Pixel Remasters. So this gives me, you know, all the Final Fantasies in the collection except 11 and 14. I don't do the online stuff. I've had so many chances to get Final Fantasy 14. So many different chances. I've seen it in pawn shops like the Realm Reborn. I've seen it so many different times. I was like, no, that ain't my boat, man. That ain't my bag, man. That ain't my bag. But now, the final one I picked up, and this one, I'm so happy I got this one. And I got this one back in the spring. And I was tempted to show Persona 3, but I was like, nope, this is my top 25. I got to go with one. And it was Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I've not opened this yet. I've not opened the deluxe edition because it's starting to go up. It's went up in price. It's over $100 now. And I didn't pay that. I think I didn't pay that for it. I forgot what I paid for it. At one time, it was going for like $150. I don't know if I think it's went down a little bit, but I remember being in the store, and I wish Daryl was there, but it was I picked it up, and the girl rung me up, and we sitting there talking, and she said, this guy come in. He said, hey, do y'all have Final Fantasy VII, the deluxe edition? And he saw me buying it, and he's like, would you be interested in selling that to me? And I was like, dude, you know, I was like, I'm a Final Fantasy VII fan. I've played the first one. I'm waiting on the second. And I said, I wish I could, but I can't do that. You know, I can't do that. And he's like, I understand. He said, man, he says, that's a hard thing to find online. Because he's looking for the deluxe edition. They had the regular editions in there. They still do. I'm going to buy the regular edition later on. Because, like I said, I'm so many RPGs. I got so much RPG stuff going on. And I'm not going to open this one. Because it's, like I said, it's a collector's edition. It's nice. It's just on the shelf, really pretty. And I'm like, yeah. That's one of my big ones, you know, one of the big ones. But I'm very happy with what I picked up this year. And I hope you enjoyed this video, this 2-part video. I tried to make it quick. That's why I don't show comics off, because I start talking and I can't stop. I loved what I picked up in 2024. I'm hoping 2025 is just as good. I'm hoping I can find some good stuff. Finds that I'm pressed and enjoy. I try to play as much games as I can, but with work, and I know Eddie gets at it. He's like, man, yeah, get more. I was like, yeah, but I was like, like I said, I got these RPGs I could get into. I got to finish the Trail series. I'm like 3 games behind, and they're getting ready to release a 4th one. So, so thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, this 2-part video, and just keep on playing, folks. I'm gonna go play me some Final Fantasy 7 or Final Fantasy Collection, the first 6. Thanks.